Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the World Chess Championship 2023, the match that keeps on giving. It's game number 13 out of a possible 14. It's 6-6. The World Championship is supposed to be determined with 7.5 points out of 14, and if it's 7-7, they play a tiebreaker. It's 6-6 after 12. Yesterday, Liren won from the depths of defeat against Ruy Lopez. We got 2 games to decide who's going to be the world champion, and if we can't determine it, we're going to have some tie breaks. And today's game did not disappoint. Can Ruy Lopez strike back with the white pieces after losing with a winning position with the black pieces? This is tense. I mean, the pressure is astronomically high. I don't even think you can use that adjective to describe that word. Jan goes back to the true and tried E4. E5, the response from Ding. All right? The momentum has shifted completely. Multiple times in this match, 3 if not 4 times, Jan has led by 1. Ding has never led. Knight F3, Knight C6, Bishop B5. We have seen the Spanish every single time we've gotten to this position. We have seen Ding play 1 game of the Berlin, and we now see Ding return to exactly what he knows best. Bishop A4, Knight F6 attacking the pawn in the center, castles, and Ding playing this move order where he doesn't commit his D-pawn, and as always, for the millionth time, if Rook E1, Ding would play a setup where he tries to play the Marshall, so Jan plays the move D3, which is an anti-Marshall. An anti-Marshall setup, and after the move B5, Bishop B3, pawn to D6, which we have seen, Ding, here Jan has chosen a variety of different setups. He's chosen pawn to A3, he has chosen pawn to, he played a game where he played like C3, A4, and so on. Well, this game, he plays C3, castles, and now not the move A4, and also not even A4 now. I mean, this is yet another way that white can play, just sort of poking at the queen side. Jan plays the move C3, and then he plays H3. Now, this is interesting. Why is this interesting? Well, like I've been telling you all, Rook E1 would be met like this. And then the traditional Spanish is C3, D6, H3, and then D4, like Bishop B7, D4, okay? Now, the position after H3 looks extremely similar to the position in the game, but look at the difference. H3. So the pawn is there instead of the rook being there. To be honest, the setup chosen in the game by Jan makes less sense. Is it bad or losing? No, it's just a different way to play. The point is, white's entire setup with C3 is to play D4 in one move, but he already played D3. So why would he play D3 and then D4? And in chess, that is really how it works. I mean, if you've already committed a pawn, why are you playing the setup that is supposed to play the move there? Should have just played Rook E1, but he couldn't play Rook E1. Why could he not play the Rook E1 setup? Because Ding wouldn't play D6, because Ding would play the Marshall Gambit. So there's a lot of little things here. If Jan plays the way it's supposed to be played, Liren is going to play his secret, ultra-powerful weapon, the Marshall. If Nepo plays it the way he plays it in the game, well, he gets a slightly different setup and maybe one that's not as challenging. Ding develops his bishop, and now Jan plays an even more dank move. He doesn't play the A4 plan. He doesn't play Rook E1 and then try to play D4. He doesn't play Knight BD2. He plays a move in this position that, according to my database, I mean, y'all might have a better database than me, this move has not been played by anybody good. All right, like 1/2000 rated player played it. And yes, a 2000 playing something, 2000 is a very good elo. But if you're looking for inspiration in an opening database as a 2795 FIDE rated player, chances are the move the 2000 played is not what you're looking for. Bishop E3, which on the surface, there is nothing wrong with the move Bishop to E3. He's just developing a bishop. but the move itself doesn't make sense in the traditional setting of the Ruy, all right? And my food is outside. Hello? Yeah, just leave it at the door, please. Thank you so much. It was supposed to come 20 minutes in the future. But I'm not complaining. It's just going to sit outside and get cold. I'm not going to go get it. You think I'm going to go get it? What are you, crazy? No, the recap is everything. If somebody steals... I mean, you know, we got package thieves in New York. Yeah, maybe they'll just leave it there. It's fine. Bishop 2e3. Doesn't make sense in the traditional sense of the Ruy Lopez, because if anything, the bishop likes to go there. And second of all, you know, your planned pawn to d4, now you don't get the rook here. But it's fine. It's just equal. All right? It's just equal. And clearly by Jan's time spent, he knows what he's doing. Knight a5, typical move. c5, typical move. Now we have a very, very tense position. Black would like to create some counterplay with these pawn breaks. White would like to open up the center and maybe counterattack on the queen side. And as always, maybe you don't know this, but now you do after studying all of the intricacies of the Ruy Lopez in this match. White also might like to create an attack over here. Knight bd2. Now, this position has been reached in the database no times at the high level, because the white bishop doesn't really belong in the e3 square. But as you can see, white is trying to play d4 without playing rook e1, which is interesting, all right? Because now he's going to cover that 2 times. So we have the move rook e8. And now the move d4 is actually really difficult to land. Because after cd4, cd4, ed4, let's say white takes like this, black is going to bring the knight back. Where do you put the bishop? Because I got news for you. You put the bishop there, I got b4. I got d5 stuff. You take this. That bishop is not really an asset. I'm going to capture it. The move rook e8 is very nice. And actually, according to the database, and you'll notice that Ding spent 7 minutes on that move. According to the database, white does not score very highly here. I mean, white is scoring like 38%. I mean, if black is scoring 62% in a line, it means it's not very good. So this opening is already a little bit weird, but okay, it's the Spanish. I mean, it's just equal with best play, right? So Jan plays a4. Now, you'll notice that in Jan's preparation, he is clearly in his prep. It doesn't matter that it's 30-something%. Jan came prepared. Like, I am trying to describe the fact that Jan is not playing a bad opening, but he is playing an opening that is challenging for an advantage in a very unconventional fashion. He's playing in a new way, in an opening that's been tried and tested thousands of times. And if you try to do something uniquely when it has been done already thousands of times successfully, you are either going to come out as a genius, or you'll blow up the kitchen, or you'll spill paint all over the canvas, right? And it won't be, although some people did that and they got very famous doing it. But that's effectively what it is. Now here, h6. H6 is almost always a useful move, and it takes away anything going to g5. So this bishop is sort of stuck. That bishop's not going to get out anytime soon. Also, Ding is completely unafraid of the opening of the position over here. The only thing that Jan can do here is play the move d4. So he does it. Now, what I will say is interesting about h6, which Ding spent 6 minutes on, you will notice Ding played h6, which is a simple, effortless, improving pawn move that does not touch any piece. Clearly, Ding is completely happy with the placement of literally every piece. Why is he happy? Because the onus is on white in this position to come up with an idea. Why is the onus on white? Because, well, white goes first, so white leads the dance. Also, you know, white is kind of the one with the pawn break. Black's not going to go b4. That's not a good move. It surrenders way too much control of the queen side. Black is also not going to go c4, because then white will go d4 and be extremely happy. So black is not really the one calling the shots. Black is sort of like, all right, come and get me. d4. Now again, the weird thing is Jan spent 14 minutes, but why did he spend 14 minutes on that move if that's the idea of the opening? Could Jan have prepared it? Could he have played like A, B, and then d4? Potentially. The computer said maybe A, B, and d4. Jan plays d4, and as you can see, we have a standoff. I mean, absolutely everybody is staring at everything in a moment. Not to mention these pawns are beefing over here. I mean, you got like a line fight in hockey, a 5-on-5 line fight. It's a very famous fight. Was it Senators Sabres when the goalies fought? Oh, I love that. There's also my favorite hockey highlight to watch on YouTube is Flyers Penguins. There was a series some years ago in the playoffs, round 1 or 2, and they fought the whole series. And I remember that series because the Penguins were winning like babies, like 2-1. baby scores, and the Flyers were winning like 7-0, just obliterating them. That was very fun. That was when Claude Giroux, I think, was like coming into his element. Anyway, good times. Pawn takes d4, pawn takes d4, and Ding plays the move knight c4, inviting a trade of a knight. And the position is very tense. Jan obliges after 9 minutes. He didn't have to take. He could have played something like queen e2, but then again, Ding is going to grab the bishop because it's just a nice little benefit to his position to do that. Jan would either take with the queen or even the pawn. This is a horrible structure, but actually the open f file does make for a little bit of a juicy thing here. You could put something on c4 and put some pressure. Knight c4, bc4. And after spending 6 minutes, Jan plays f3. And this is where a catastrophic moment occurs in game 13. Jan Nepomniachtchi defends his center pawn by playing f3. I mean, how else was he going to defend it? If he played queen f3, he would be walking directly into a pin. I don't like that either. So he plays f3. But now he is destabilizing his position a little bit. And Ding plays the best move, bishop f8. And Ding has 3 pieces staring at the center. The move d5 is coming. Defending this, teaming up with everything, hitting this, reopening the diagonal of the bishop. Ding Liren is in the driver's seat with the black pieces for the first time in the entire match. It took him until his final game with black. Clearly Jan is rattled, all right, choosing a little bit of a sideline in the opening. And now Jan has to step out of the way, because if he doesn't, because if he waits one more move, a d5 is borderline completely winning for black. So bishop f2 steps out of the way of the rook, but here comes pawn to d5, and Ding Liren is better. Ding Liren has a big advantage, all right? Jan takes on d5. Ding recaptures with the knight, and he's ready to play knight e3. If you spend one more move, knight f4, knight e3, this knight parks itself outside of the airport terminal waiting for people to arrive. Knight e2 is a problem, bishop c5 is a problem, bishop is a problem, knight is a problem, rook up and over is a problem, a queen g5 and mate is a problem. Everything is a problem. Jimmy Butler is a problem for the Milwaukee Bucks, by the way. Yo, Knicks are going to cook Miami, by the way. I mean, I'm just saying, Knicks getting to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Boston Celtics. I mean, what is this, the mid-20th century of basketball? This is incredible. Just, the Knicks are really good. Mitchell Robinson, oh my goodness, he made Jared Allen. Whew. Anyway, knight takes d5. White has to prevent all of this, bishop to e4, and Ding has his biggest moment in the game. It's a relatively simple situation. There is a pin on the knight. So rook b8 is probably the right antidote. Now, white can take, and then maybe queen d5, and black is convincingly better. Black is just better, much better, in fact, like -1 of advantage with long-term pressure on white's position and the bishop pair. And a completely effortless advantage. Bishop to e4, you can play rook b8. You don't want to play rook b8, play queen f6. You don't want to play that, play queen g5. Defending this, the point is white has to take. If white doesn't take, knight f4 is game over. So Ding has a massive opportunity, and he plays rook e5. He spends 20 minutes and plays rook e5. I don't hate this move, all right? But rook e5 is creating a little bit of a Tetris piece in the center. Ding's idea was obviously bishop takes d5, rook d5. That is clearly his idea. But what is the long-term objective, right? Because all the moves that I pointed out, rook b8, queen f6, queen g5, black, all of those moves set up a knight move. For the most part. Queen f6 sets up rook d8 and then a knight move. This does not set up a knight move because you're still hanging, which means all the other moves, queen f6, queen g5, rook b8, all demanded bishop d5. The problem with Ding's move is Jan can make another move. He doesn't need to take the knight on d5. He doesn't need to take on the knight on d5, period. Because after rook c8, he can just go here. There was never a moment where Ding enabled the movement of the knight. The problem with the bishop on e4 was not the pressure on the knight, it was the bishop. You needed to guard the bishop to enable the movement of the knight to f4. And because he waited a little too long, Jan stops it. Now, still, Ding has very good pressure. Here the move Queen E8 is the accurate move and actually pressures the pawn and the e-file, and White really should consider going here. Because the longer that White waits, Black will play Rook D8 and set up a cannon, and if White steps out of the way, Knight B4 gallops into D3 and White is lost, okay? So instead of Queen E8, Ding plays Queen E7. It's not a bad move, but it is! Queen D4. Now, what was the difference between Queen E8, Queen D4, and Queen E7, Queen D4? The difference was the fact, and you're going to see this in the game, that first of all, there is Knight E3. That is a major difference. You can shove the knight in the way, and then bishop takes e4. The reason you cannot play knight e3 with the queen there and the queen there is after this bishop g3, the queen is standing in the way of the bishop. That is a major problem for Black. Black doesn't have enough room. You needed the queen on e8 so that after queen d4, knight e3, and this entire same sequence, bishop g3 hits this, bishop c5. So Ding had to go here to keep the bishop open. He needed to not block his own bishop. That is some giga-dank stuff. Okay, chess is a brutal game sometimes. You just had to not close your own bishop. And the point is that queen d4, that tactic no longer works. And after f5, again, had the queen been there, once again, instant replay, f5, bishop g3, bishop c5 is lights out. Ding needed to play queen e8, and he would have had a massive advantage. But instead he went here. And the problem is that after f5, he doesn't get to pin the queen. He missed this idea, and he goes for a rook sacrifice instead, getting an endgame where he has a bishop and a pawn for a rook. The problem is, now Jan is maybe back in the driver's seat with rook f5. I mean, these guys are going back and forth this entire match. Rook d1, knight b4. Ding is going to plant the horse here and start a family with the two pawns. The horsey is going to raise horse babies. All right, what are horse babies? What is the word for baby horse? Hold on. What is the word for baby horse? A foal? I don't... Okay. My favorite thing is just a murder of crows. That's crows? Yeah. Anyway, bishop c5 check, bishop c6, and Jan trades the rooks, and now Jan is better. All right? Bishop d5, and, you know, Ding is chilling. Ding chilling, if you will, you know. In the center of the board here, but unfortunately, knight c3, knight d3 hits the bishop, but the rook is counterattacked. Black starts bringing his king, and Jan actually could have played knight e2 and had a pretty substantial edge. Bishop d5 would have been necessary, and Jan could have played this endgame. And I got news for you. If Magnus Carlsen was sitting in this position in a world championship match right here, he would not play what just happened. What happens in this game is rook e2 and the players make a draw. They make a draw, they repeat moves. Game 13 is a draw. It's 6.5, 6.5. The difference is that Magnus Carlsen in this position would have found knight e2, knight f4. Bishop d5 has to defend, and only white is playing for a win here because a rook is just better than a bishop. It just is. And the less pieces on the board, the better for the rook. But game 13 ends in a draw. Jan doesn't play knight e2, knight f4. It almost feels like he can breathe a sigh of relief, but ladies and gentlemen, this comes down to the final game, or the tiebreak. But the next person to win wins it all. Like how in basketball, when you're down and you say next point wins, that is exactly what it will come down to. This is the first world championship to go the distance in 20 years. The first World Chess Championship to go the full length of the allotted games in 20 years since Leko Kramnik 2004. I will see you all for game number 14 in 2 days. April 28th is a rest day. April 29th, we might crown a new classical World Chess Champion. Get out of here.